It's still, there we go.
Okay.
All right, we should be recording, guys. So,
So basically, when it's live, you record it to a, I don't know how that works, but it's kind of a YouTube video, isn't it?
yeah, it's recording to my YouTube channel, and then we can make it private or unlisted, or I can download it and move it
Yeah.
to thegreathall.org if we want to keep it more private, if it's got some information
Yeah. No
later
problem.
on. But I think this one can be public
Yeah.
so
No.
far.
Okay.
Anyway,
So
let me just describe if somebody that missed the meeting, I screwed up. I put down GMT time, and I guess I meant UTC time because uh, I didn't realize there was a difference. I guess GMT is got daylight savings time built into it, and
Yep.
that's why we're kind of starting halfway in between. One of my questions, Real Raven, that I have for you right off the bat, you set up this Etherpad thing. Is this thing going to stick around, or is it going to be gone after we all log out?
it's sticking around, but you have to bear in mind that it's open to anybody. So uh, somebody could vandalize it.
All right.
Right.
It's really completely open source, so it's really up to the goodwill of whoever uses it to, not kind of nuke everything. But it has a
Well,
timeline, so you can roll it back. It's like you can go backwards and forwards and see what shit everybody contributed.
one
I mean,
thing that I will do is I'll copy and paste this into the Great Hall wiki, so we
yeah,
have it.
but
So
that's what you should do maybe at the end, or maybe you can do it as part of the wiki demonstration or something. Now GitHub, I don't know. I mean, yeah, good point actually. Now there's two things. One thing you probably want more people joining now. I don't know if the UTC thing screwed it up or if we're gonna have more people joining in half an hour when it's like the official time. But I was thinking even if you broadcasted this live and you had a chat going. Even if you just had 10 viewers, you would probably get a lot more momentum because people will probably see, oh, they're doing something there now. I want to contribute or something, and then ask, whoever when they see, hey, there's a live hangout, they might even already be on Discord up, and they mightn't even have got it.
yeah, you
So,
can tweet it out if you want. It is public.
oh, it is public.
Let me get the link for you.
Oh, cool. Well, I'm shit with tweeting. I mean, it might not going to go
I know.
anywhere, I can tell you that. But I mean, people are used to you hosting Hangouts, so if you tweet it, it's probably going to be. But give the link anyway in the chat.
Yeah, just a second here.
Cool. Very nice.
And then I will tweet it out that we're having a live meeting.
Yeah, and what I could do quickly while anybody's watching or nobody's watching or whatever, I could just for the purpose of documenting it, I could share a screen with Etherpad to show how that works. Just as a
Oh,
start point.
I'm
So
not
that
sure what you're saying, Real Raven.
what I'm saying is that just put yourself into the shoes of somebody who's just watching the YouTube video and wants to know what the fuck is this about, right? So I
Yeah.
could show how we're starting to take notes on Etherpad. So just to show, hey, this
Oh,
this was
yeah. Go ahead and
okay.
Yeah, go for it.
bring that up.
Yeah. So let's get that start screen here. Okay.
And then I think if I just click here, that
Yeah.
if everybody clicks on Real Raven, then that thing will be up constantly, which is good. Yeah.
So it's really simple. I use the Mozilla one because that's the one I know, but there's tons of them. Basically, just go to etherpad mozilla.org and enter a new name, and then you have this pad that everybody can use. Well, everybody who knows this URL. And yeah, and then when you join it, you see this field on the top. You just put in your name, and you get a color, and then you just start typing, and that's pretty much it. There's also a chat box on the bottom right, so that's for the more transient stuff. Let me just type something there.
Yep.
Goodbye. Hello world, and then I can take notes here. And the beauty of it is, I've chosen my color, and you can have like up to, I don't know, 15, 20 people taking notes at the same time. We were using that at Mozilla a lot. It's very handy. And what else is there? Oh yeah, there's a timeline as well, so I can go backwards and forwards, and anybody can do that. And you can also show that it basically connects the pad, and then it goes. You can go from when you started to type until the very end. Let's see if this works. It's kind of cool. Like
Yeah.
how it grew. So it's fully version controlled. So even if you fuck up a little bit, you can. Okay, here you can see that's how we started. Tom came in, Dave Sidious came in, blah 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 blah, and so on. You know. Okay, return to the pad, and that's it. And everybody um, who joins on. Okay, the next thing is how do we get there? Uh, before before you go to the Etherpad, come to the Hangout, and before you come to the Hangout, come to Tech Talk on Discord app, I guess. And whoever is on Discord app knows, because they'll have an invite from Tom.
Right. Yeah. If you guys aren't a part of Tech Talk, I can get you here in the stream, but you would get bumped if we had a tech guy that is part of Tech Talk. So yeah.
Talking of which,
Yeah.
should we if we post a link to the Tech Talk channel here on the Etherpad, it's not open to public, right? That's still by
Yeah, it's not open to public.
but we could put the link in, I suppose.
Yeah.
I suppose, I don't know. I don't know if it makes sense, because people only see this, like they won't be able to click any links because it's only a a live stream.
Right.
Um, okay, whatever. I mean, what else have I done? So I just put in a couple of sections. Personal so far. It's just the three of us at the moment. I hope that's going to fill up. And what everybody can do. And tools needed. Now, let's discuss that for a second. I thought if it's a database tool, we need some sort of a database. Well, ER is one way to say it. Design tool. An ER entity relationships diagram editor would be nice. I usually use Visio, but that's like one of those Microsoft costly ones. And it's basically we are basically making up the data that you want to store in the database into entities called tables. So, for instance, you might have a table of videos, you might have a table of citations, etc. And breaking that up into manageable portions, that's the point of the backend designers. Okay, everybody on the call knows a little bit about that, but to get that right, I think that's really important, and that's going to take a lot of time to get it perfect. What
Right. Well, and you have an idea for one. Was that you that put that? Yeah, you put in that idea for one of these schema design tools.
It's that one is less of a schema design tool and more of just an online drawing tool that you could recreate a database schema in. But I don't know. I don't know whether they've got any collaboration tools in the one I've just pasted in, because I know that a lot of people use Workbench.
Where's free?
MySQL
Well,
Workbench.
here's my suggestion, guys. This week, put in all of your suggestions for this open source collaborative ER diagram tool in the Tech Talk channel, and that'll give everybody a chance to go look at it, and then like next week we'll decide on one for the time being, would be my kind of suggestion.
Yeah, I also think ideally what I would want is something that anybody who is collaborating on it already has used, because you could, of course, we could Google search and you could end up in a big cul-de-sac.
Oh, I know what you're saying. Somebody that's really at least an intermediate, a journeyman using that tool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Whoever has used it first, that's the specialist, until somebody else with more drive takes over. That's what I would say.
Well,
something specialist.
Hey, hello. Who do we got?
The one, the only Nagel Mad.
Make all mad. Yeah, we're trying to work through these goddamn issues, these technical issues.
What are they?
Yeah, so we were just talking about tools, right? So
Sure.
one thing that we definitely need is some database design tools, and it's always nice. It's easy when you can visualize your tables in some way.
Yeah.
And the tool of choice is usually ER diagram, which is basically it shows you tables as boxes. So you have a box with videos, that's your table of videos. You have a box of citations, let's say. You may have a box of YouTube authors, etc.
And you have like arrows going between the different tables showing how they're linked, right? Yeah.
Exactly. How they refer to each other. So you have a box where you say, okay, there's my YouTuber, and then you say, okay, what kind of citations have they said, for instance, in their own
How
video?
about this, Raven? While we wait for somebody having some expertise in one of these tools, I set up a wiki page so we can at least do it in text. It's not good visually, but at least we'd have something to go on.
You can do it in text, or what helps, text only is really hard because what you really need is tables. So a spreadsheet will do. Take a big spreadsheet, 20 by 20. Is there a free spreadsheet? There's probably one on Google Docs.
You use Google Docs,
yeah. You guys know?
You can also use Word on Excel online through OneDrive as well.
Okay, can you set one up and share your screen, Boris? Boris.
Yep. See, it's a good name.
It's a good name. We just have to tell everybody that Boris on this page is actually Dave Sidious.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
Can I have the link to the Etherpad, please?
Yeah. I'll give you the link in the chat, so you don't
Thank
have to
you.
type it off screen. It's also in the tech in that channel on on the Great Hall. Okay.
Neat.
So just put your name up there, and then you can contribute.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So while Boris is setting up the thing, what you cannot do obviously on a spreadsheet is make the arrows, but you can very simply put together some tables, and kind of juxtapose them. Put one on the top left, one on the top right, and you can copy and paste that information later into another tool. Visio, ER, whatever, because it's already a table. Text is usually cancer because tabular data in text is shit because it always gets messed up. Okay, so that's that, and hopefully there'll be somebody with. Oh yeah, and once Nimat comes online, he can put up his spiel. And then document repository. Okay, you had the wiki, so that's great. Code repository. Maybe it's too early to talk about that. To be honest, we're not. I don't think we need to talk about coding for another couple of weeks, probably.
Right. We still take an inventory on skills, and probably we're going to have a bigger membership drive because I'm going to start Thursdays. I don't know, just doing meetings on how to get more members and how to get the right members. Kind of.
I think it's more important that we have kind of some boxes that people can fill when they can say, "Oh, code repository, I know a really good one that's really easy to use." I think that's one of the objectives here, that it should be accessible and free for everybody, and not too hard to use.
Yeah.
If you have huge learning curves and shit like that, it should just. And if you don't want to. If you don't want to have anything to do with documents or code or whatever, then never mind. That's not a problem either.
You could also source a few good. Once we've decided on a tool, source a few good, sort of reputable tutorials and paste them into the pad. So we've got them. For
yes. Yeah, as far as using a wiki, I mean, there's probably already a great YouTube tutorial put out by the makers of that, wiki, and we don't need to reinvent the wheel a lot of times. We just need to find the resource.
Yeah, as long as someone can say, yeah, this actually helps.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, are you sharing something there, Boris?
I am sharing Excel online.
Let's put you
Okay,
on.
let me.
If I click on you, then I see you, but I don't know what's actually shared. I don't actually know how I can control what's shared on YouTube. Is it
Yeah, it's just showing our faces for some reason. I don't know how to do it either. And I'm the host.
Um,
But you click on Boris.
I did click on Boris, and I can see what he's doing. But
Okay.
oh, here it's present to everyone. Let me see. I think I figured it out.
Fuck, I
right,
hope
there you
my Wikipedia was also presented to anyone. Otherwise, it was kind of pointless. All right, now it has a different. It has an arrow. His name has an up arrow now. Fuck. Okay, it doesn't matter. Okay, so that's great. That's all we need. So, Tom, you now it's a little bit tricky because you had a presentation. You put up a YouTube video where you showed kind of a prototype, right?
I've done a couple of prototypes. One was the video, the landing page for if you're just coming on as the general public, and
Mhm.
then I did one today that kind of walked through how I'd set up my personal
Mhm.
computer to do entries for the research database.
Mhm.
So yeah.
The one that I would start from. I mean, you already had lots of features in it, and it was kind of fairly feature rich. But I thought that you had a dialogue with the form, to fill, where you said, okay, you can put your citation here. You started from a YouTube video, a Karen Strawn video, right?
Yes, yes. Yeah, that's for entering in information into hopefully an online database that we can, do a powerful SQL search. We all know what the fucking, a Google and a YouTube search is going to get you. It's going to get you a bunch of fucking garbage you don't need.
Okay, Boris,
Pretty much.
put in something, right? So the first thing is it's obviously it's about YouTubers. So you could have a table that's either a YouTuber or somebody who creates content, which could be, give him a name or her.
A contributor, maybe.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. It's more like a
Yeah.
creator source.
Okay.
How about source?
Yeah. I don't know.
Let's say source. So that's
An
the name.
author? No.
Hmm?
An
Author.
author?
Yeah, okay. I don't know. I mean, whatever you guys think. I mean, you can
Mhm.
rename it, call it author if you want. Just put that in the first cell, author.
Yeah.
Give you an idea, and then just hit enter. Next cell, you'd probably have let's call that name. Shall we call that name? I mean, it would be okay. Call it call it ID for now. And that's
ID.
yeah. And you know what? We're just gonna make an example rather than uh, putting a type or anything. We just put in an example. So on the right hand side of ID, write girl writes what, so that everybody can understand what this is about. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
You don't necessarily need to know a lot of database theory to make up
Yeah, sure.
a record, a database record.
Right,
Okay,
exactly. It's just a line on a spreadsheet, and
exactly.
then you have to link them together or
Yeah.
in a table,
So,
yeah.
Should we
so
give the
maybe
table
ID.
name,
Mhm.
the sheet name? So
Yeah.
whatever it is.
So oh yeah, name the sheet. Yeah, what putting up?
Users?
No, because it's more. I wanted to put up more than just one table. This is going to be the stand-in for the whole ER diagram. We're going to have 4 or 5 tables on this.
Right.
Only 4 or
Contents?
5?
So
Yeah,
that's
only 4 or 5.
I mean, the
yeah.
more tables you have, the more optimized it could be. So,
Just call it ER.
Yeah.
What? God, I have a strong sense of déjà vu. I don't know why.
okay.
ER.
Yeah, just call it ER. Emergency room. No, it's
Okay.
it's for entity relationship. Okay.
Mhm.
So basically, the next one could be a YouTube channel. I think that could be in there. Just call YouTube name or something like that. And that
Yeah.
would also be girl writes what.
The issue is that there's
But
3 ways of referring to a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
There's the identifier, you know, with that begins with UC. There's the old username, and then there's the /c/ whatever.
Okay, then just call
You
that
know.
one YouTube user.
Yeah,
YouTube.
like we would have to pick one.
Okay, don't. Okay, one thing. Never use spaces. So
Oh,
underscore.
well, I was about to ask that. Am I writing these like actual?
Yeah, don't use spaces because
Yeah,
MySQL it will spit in your face if
Do you
you.
want me to use
yeah,
camel
pretty
case
much.
underscore?
Yeah, pretty much. Either you fucking go with like you know, you have to go with the system except spaces.
Yeah,
Only
do
rule.
underscore.
Underscore or just like, you know,
Yeah, do
fucking
underscore. Don't worry.
I'm asking what you
Underscore's
prefer. Do you
fine.
want me to use camel case space
YouTube.
underscores?
No, for a
Lowercase.
database, do underscore. I think everybody's used to
Yeah.
that. YouTube underscore user.
Yeah, underscore. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
and don't
fine.
worry about it. I mean, we can always rename them. We're not gonna
Sure.
find the database tomorrow.
Sure, it's
So
not
that's
written in fucking stone.
Yeah, and then
Okay,
the other one would maybe be YouTube. Yeah, just copy that in. Curl writes what? It's just an example. Yeah, okay, perfect. And then do a YouTube underscore URL. We're just gonna make this quick and dirty, right? That
Mm-hmm.
would be basically a channel.
Is that kind of redundant though?
No, it isn't.
What is a URL? Is my
It's not really
question.
redundant. It's core.
It's the universal record locator is what they call
Mhm.
it. It's the web address.
I know.
For channel.
Yeah, of the channel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the channel.
Of the
URL.
channel. But can we
Yeah.
get this from the username?
Yeah, you can,
That's
but
my
don't
question.
worry about it. You'd still put it in because she might change her username and you'd still have the URL, and the URL doesn't contain.
Yeah. Okay.
Not normally, I mean, yes, you can rename your channel to have to be friendly, but yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, then another one would be YouTube underscore. Let me think. Oh yeah, not YouTube. That'd be Twitter, you know, or just say Twitter.
Yeah,
That's
sure.
it. And maybe one or two more, and then we're done. You know, you don't have to do like 1,000.
Yeah,
things.
Skype. Put in Skype. Yeah, and then so you're just wanting to show how this tool works right now, right, Raven?
Yeah, exactly. And email maybe, and then you have your main channels covered, more or less.
Yeah. At least you got to start on this project anyway.
And now just leave one space, and we make a new table. So you know that. So I just want to show how that stuff hangs together. Now I made a bit of a blunder because ID is actually reserved, more or less, should be a reserved word. So that should actually just be a number, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or whatever, because that's what the database understands when you're, you know, indexing or relating data to each other. But we're using this real text ID girl writes what for now. So just make a space so that we can make a new table name. Yeah. So let's just break it down again. The easiest thing you could do is a video. I would say there's a table of videos. I wouldn't go super generic and have a content table. I would just have a physical video table for videos. Would you agree?
What is that?
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know what that I would agree with that because I haven't heard the pros and cons of either one. But
we could always normalize the data later and abstractify it. But
Yeah.
I like the simple approach first. You know, kind of okay.
Right.
Everybody knows what an author is. Everybody knows what a video is, and then
Yeah, sure.
it's just one video, by the way. You don't need to
Yeah.
just singular video. Yeah, because that's so the table name represents the thing that you're kind of managing.
Pluralizing.
So yeah, the video just put in an ID as well, and
Of course.
it's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's just gonna be a number.
A number.
Just an example, 1, 2, 3. That's okay. And then okay, so what do videos have? Title.
title.
They have a title. They have tags, but that's just gonna be another table, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. So just type
They have
URL.
fucking.
So you can quickly find it.
Yeah, so they have
You're going to have a date,
a date. Yes, a date.
publication, or whatever.
Yeah, just
Oh, fuck.
yeah, oh yeah, maybe date published. Yeah, that's a good point actually.
Date. Yeah.
Published, yeah.
Description.
Yeah. Probably. Well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you definitely want a description in there, right?
Hmm.
That's the thing that you post, and that's always going to be out of date. Anything else that's vital? Now tags, that would be in its own table. So I guess. Oh yeah, you probably want to know who you want the author. So what you
Right.
put in there on 14 is author ID underscore ID. Now
Yeah.
this,
There you go. Now you've linked.
yeah, and
Fine.
now you need to rename that up there, author ID also. Give it the same name. In the top table, yeah, call it author ID, because this is one of my pet peeves. If you relate one field to another, then it's a good idea to have unique names. It gets really shitty if the names are completely different. What the fuck,
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
And there's your relationship, So you can have it's called one to many, so you can have one author and many videos. You can have a couple of those video entities that point to the author. Okay.
Now this here spreadsheet that we're doing right now is this going to be persistent so that
Yeah.
people can get into it,
I can
or
share
we?
it with you
Yeah,
all.
that's the thing.
Yeah, I mean
Because
that's
I don't use OneDrive, and
want to
that's
save a
fine.
copy of the hard drive as well, just in case it gets fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can save it to wherever and then send it or whatever.
Yeah, you
Share
can
it.
export it, and we can maybe like make
Yeah.
copies of it. So
Now,
Okay.
here's a interesting one. So I think everybody understands that the relationship between video and author. You can have many
Yeah, sure.
videos that point to the same author. Sometimes they can point to more than one author when you have collaborations.
yeah, sure, that makes
Okay.
sense.
But if it makes sense, will the database support it? Because then you have a more complicated relationship called many to many, and you need a third table to
Yeah.
join the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
That,
I would say you have you you have one author. That's basically the person who, maybe publisher. I'm not sure. The person who published it.
No,
Who
I think you should have it.
many to many.
I think this author ID in the video table should be to a link to another table that has, the
Author.
many to many relationship. So,
The
yeah,
only thing is that, and most of the times, and 99% of the times, you will just have the one author.
But can you
So
have a collaborators table that's just got a table of video IDs and collaborator
there you
IDs?
go.
that's redundant. They'll be redundant, really.
I would
Yeah,
rather.
but it's going to be lighter on the resources because you only have to get into that table if it is a collaboration.
I would say
Um,
a second ID called collaborator ID, right?
mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Under
under video,
So that
collaborator.
means only one collaborator and
Yeah, and
in
then
line 15, collab underscore ID.
yeah, exactly.
And see what that'll do is link you to
And
the
now you're
collab.
many too many, so just leave one space and call it video author. That's your many to many relationship basically, and author. Yeah. And okay, so what do we have? We have a video. Let's call it video ID
Yeah,
underscore
and
ID.
you have collab ID.
Yeah, exactly. So you don't necessarily need records in there in order to find the author of a video. You can use the normal. Yeah, perfect. You got that. So
Yeah,
now you can have and then you could maybe have a function or something in line 20. That kind of the type of authorship. That might just be, that could be just a musician who contributed music. It could be an artist. It could be the actual script writer. It could be voice, whatever. So you could actually put a lot more useful information into that many to many if you wanted.
yeah,
Describing the
yeah.
function of the person. So maybe, I don't know, the function, or I don't know, what would you call that?
I hate to use the word function.
Yeah, it's a stupid.
what about type? Because it's the type
Yeah,
of.
type it, call it author type, so it's clear that it's kind of relating to the authoring. And that would normally be a lookup, to an author types table. So you could have different types of relationships. But for the moment, leave it clear text. So put in a bit of meat. Put in the video ID. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just let's just make up an example. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the collab ID. Now, what's the collab ID? Oh yeah, that's basically pointing to the author. So that would be girl writes what as well. Yeah, obviously we need
So
more than one record, but just put
wouldn't-
her anyway, because
Wouldn't this be a number?
yeah, it would be, but let's just keep it simple for now.
Well, I was just thinking
Would be
because
a
then we
number.
can relate it to the author ID in video.
It would really be
Yes.
a number, to be honest. The only problem is that it's going to be hard to parse, but yeah, put that in if you want.
Yeah, there you go. That makes it a little clearer.
And great. And author type could be, yeah, that's just a table. So if it was a collaboration, then it could be somebody else. I don't know. in Felpop, in my case, it would be I'd be making the music production.
Okay.
Obviously, I haven't done it with
So
Girl
you're
Writes What.
holding the types in another table and referencing it with an ID, or
You would probably do that, yeah. But again, you can simplify it for now. You know, we don't have to get it 100% right. It's just so that people can understand what the fuck is this about. What is this about? You know. So you could just say music, you know, or lyrics or whatever, you know, text or script writing or.
is that all right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or some movie studio skizzles. I don't know. So, what else had you got in the? There's a couple of things, right? What would you want to search for? I mean, one thing is obviously if it's topical, you know, something like tags or kind of the topic, and that's a little bit tricky because it's very meta kind of information, and it's hard to categorize that, right? Like you could have a category, let's say, shit talk or manosphere or feminism or anti-feminism or anti-anti. So I don't know. Tom, what do you think? What do you guys think? While Boris is struggling with the date format.
I pasted it in, but Excel reformats numbers, so I'm just going to do that.
Oh yeah. Well, you could just put in a date.
Yeah, I could, but I just wanted to represent the fact it's going to be database formatted. It's
Yeah, okay, fine. I mean, like this is just examples, you know. I want to keep it as simple as possible so everybody gets an idea, you know. We're not all database. Well,
Well, yeah, I think right when we have this, when the database guys meet what we have in the background as far as the database, meeting basically what people want from the user interface, then we've got something that the front end guys, will have access to. I mean, surely if you've fucking done very much work as a front end guy, you've got to know that you pull certain fields.
Mhm.
I mean,
So,
and
what,
if they don't get something, we can quickly explain it to them or write a note.
yeah.
Tom, what's your next? I mean, that's just really, really basic lookup data here now. So, what would you be interested in from that point of view?
Well, I think I just can upload my table to that, and then you guys can pull from it. Because I've got it on my system already. I've got the spreadsheet with all my name fields and all of that stuff. So yeah, we can add those later, but basically I want to be able to search on the type of article it is, because there's a difference between an op-ed piece, a journalism piece, a study. There's difference between government stats, because when I'm doing research, I don't want to get a bunch of fucking salon articles unless I'm looking for an example of stupidity. You see what I'm saying? So when I do a search on the wage gap, I want the studies. I don't want the idiots talking about it until I've looked at the study. So there's a media type or whatever. And then, yeah, go ahead.
normalize the content and say you just basically have content, and that could be either a record in the content database, could be either an article or a video or this or that or the other. It makes it kind of easier from the database point of view, but I would still object because it's actually much harder to get your head around it. So I would actually say, okay, pick your, especially what regards contents, right? Pick your 4 or 5 favorite pieces and make dedicated tables to them. So have a table with videos, have a table with, let's say, newspaper articles, other publications, and have a number of them.
It'd be good
But
to
when you
separate-
go to do the searches,
See, the problem is if you normalize it, it's going to be much harder because you need to then design an entity that is so generic that it ticks all the boxes, and sure, it's possible. You could say, okay, it's of type video and it has a title, but apart from that, it might have all very different properties. You know what I mean? Apart from
well, I've already normalized it, so I kind of disagree, but it's not up to me.
oh, I'd like to see what you have. So
Yeah,
that's what you got.
I can share it right now, basically. Let me go back to.
I could integrate it into this.
So you don't want me to normalize this?
Sorry?
Not now, because keep what you got, and then I can put mine up as the alternate proposal.
If you were to normalize this properly, if you have a lot of generic attributes or specialized attributes, then if you normalize it, you don't even have titles of field anymore. You just in third normal form, you just say it's attribute and value. That's it. And then you have another table that describes all the different attributes that videos can have, and you just reference everything with IDs. But that gets kind of really hard to understand when you look at it, unless you have some views that kind of shape it in a way that that it gets back to English, if you know what I mean. So like normalization is okay when you build like really powerful systems, but it's also making the information so abstract that it gets hard to understand. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
It depends how we're carrying out searches as well. I mean, are we doing full text searches of like content within articles, or are we just searching for titles? Or
that's the thing. I mean, with video, you could have a transcript table. If you
Right.
know that, like what the honey badgers do, they do time indexing on all their shows, and they have the badger, the what's it called, the honey badgers slave pool of dependents or something, like contributors who basically collaborate to time index the videos and then shrink them down, so that a 2-hour show becomes like half an hour of like just concentrated goodness, and you could use those time indices, for instance,
Right. Yeah.
rather than having a full transcript, which kind of refer to sections. When somebody goes off on a rant about whatever, white male privilege, okay, and there you got it. You can just jump right to it, and you have the timestamp, and you can jump to the original video and kind of and nick it from there.
Yeah. That's a very good counterpoint. Let me show you this though, really quick, and then we can get back to it. Are you guys seeing this?
Yep.
It's probably hard to see, but anyway, I just have a title, author, publisher, repository, because it could be YouTube, then the channel name, or it could just be, the National Archives or whatever.
Mhm.
The publication date, the URL, the tags.
it'd be good to give a clean link to the publisher as well on each. So if it's attributed to X publisher, you've got a link directly to the publisher's main website.
Oh yeah, that's a fucking great idea. Not only that, it could help, sanitize the data. Get rid of a little bit of the gigo problem. Same with the tags. I've just been doing this by hand, guys. I don't have a lookup table, but it should have a lookup table.
What you could do in the web is, as soon as you insert this link to a new publisher, or the new URL, sorry,
Right.
it could parse the link using the PHP HTML parser and almost extract common words or use some form of extracting common words to find tags rather than people having to type them. Because if it's
Right.
coming directly from the article,
What
the
you
tags have
really,
already been typed.
really want is to go to the page and then parse the header tags, right?
Yeah.
You could parse the
Almost like a Google, a thing that Google does. You know, they crawl the web and then
yeah.
the significant HTML tags such as
I've actually
meta
written
tags.
something that pulls stuff from the web already in HTML parser and
Maybe
PHP.
that could be integrated. That sounds good. Yeah,
Mine
I think.
actually turned websites into dirty websites, so it's a bit different. But yeah,
Well, that's good. I mean, if I think text is a good one though. It's kind of it's like labels. That's also a many to many. So what we need from Tom is just the headings of those tables. And, but now those were publications you shared, right?
Those were publications and videos. It was normalized.
So there was videos in that as well. And
Yes.
how did you find like I don't know. I guess a one size fits all normalized table would probably do it.
Well, the column you didn't see was I have them coded as uh, A if it's an article, V if it's a video.
Yeah,
So yeah,
but there's
but
always specific stuff, as you know, like when if you don't like fully normalize, you might have, for instance, for a video you might have timestamps or something. That's something
yes.
that apply to a website, etc. So it gets you can end up with a very big table with a lot of columns.
Hmm.
A lot of them maybe just empty for
Yeah.
most of.
Right.
Optimization.
If you do the timestamp thing, it either has to be a standalone table,
Yeah, there has to be.
or you do videos and articles separate. Yeah, those are the only two choices really.
Yeah, that was only an example, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Whatever
I
is
do.
specific to a medium.
Hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, what you could do instead of calling it video, you could call it media, and instead of video ID, you call it media ID, and then you could
Mhm.
just add all the goodness that Tom has added, and obviously tags you would have to many, so that should definitely be in its own table.
Yeah, and
what, what,
I think what we need to do is put together the uh, a couple of different proposals and both
Mhm.
look at them both. I'll do it from the um, avenue that I've already started since I already got most of the way done,
Mhm.
and maybe Raven and Dave, you guys can look at that, and Nia, I can't say it, Nay, go mad.
It's fine.
Uh,
It's fine.
can look at that and see what you think, and then come
Yeah.
up with a counter proposal.
Yeah. I had an idea, but I'm just gonna keep it for later.
Okay. And
Okay.
then I'll put that up on the Great Hall, and I'll create
Yeah.
all accounts for you guys on that
Mhm.
wiki, so you can have wiki pages to develop and put up files of your own. We can look at them that way and do collab on the wiki. The main thing, though, I think that I wanted to do start on and make sure that we had um, some, I don't know, organized way or somebody that was kind of in charge of collecting everybody's skills. I mean, I can do that if we want, or somebody else that,
Mhm. We need a
you know.
database for skills.
Well, just basically what Raven has started here. He's
Mhm.
got this, and I've tried to talk to people, but running the server itself and getting every question about everything, I haven't done a very good job of, listing out all of these skills that everybody has. And another thing that's not on here, Raven, that we need is you also need to kind of have everybody self-rate how much volunteerism they have. I don't know what to call it, whether it's hours per week, hours per month, or not that they have to do that, but we have to have an idea. Because if we got the greatest fucking coder in the world and he's got a half a minute every 7 years to look at our code, well, that is not very much help. So we have to have
Indeed.
that. Yeah.
You also need a herd of cats.
Yeah.
It's
That's what
maybe-
I'm saying. I'm kind of looking for volunteers for that
Mhm.
aspect of it.
Yeah.
Not me.
Uh,
I'm not so
and it
good.
doesn't even have to be somebody that's technical.
Exactly. You want a people person.
Yeah, a people person that can go after that. If anybody's got any suggestions, I'll contact them. I guess I'll put it out on the announcement
Hmm.
thing that we're looking for, basically a volunteer manager.
Hmm. See, I mean, if we get into, I mean, we can continue this little design session, but that's going to be pretty dry on one hand. On the other hand, we are going to need dedicated meetings to exactly that, where we say,
Yeah, that's another thing I wanted to cover is when is a good days for dedicated meetings. So can you add that to your sheet?
hmm
So anybody can put in there what days and what times.
times available. What I would suggest is we could set up some regular hangouts for like tech hangouts, and
Yeah.
this. I mean, this almost turned into one because we have 4 tech people on there. It's not going to be very attractive if you want to put anyone on your
Shut
YouTube
up.
channel.
You
Talk
guys haven't, yeah, you guys haven't seen me and my dick yet, so you
Okay.
don't know that.
You have to put that in every 10 minutes, your dick. So just to keep everybody interested, on track.
Yeah, sure.
So I can basically be available. Uh, I'm going to put it in my own times, and then we'll convert it to a universal table, I guess, later.
Hmm.
So I'm available basically from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Pacific, and 1 p.m. to anytime really midnight. That's when my mind goes to fucking ultra trash. Okay,
Well, makes sense.
not
Um,
Wednesday, not Saturday. I probably should have said excluding. But see, that this is also what the volunteer guy has to do. It's kind of like, oh, one of our key players now's got a new assignment at work, and he no longer can we get a different meeting date, and
I'm tight with time, I'm not the greatest, but yeah, I think
there we go.
Saturday is my music day, so I tell everybody to fuck off. If I do any YouTube, then that might be late evening when I've done some recording, because I need to progress that, No art without content, as they say, and no music without making noise as well. And yeah, during the week, the GMT evening, because I have a day job, guys.
Right, and we're going to get this to another things that we need to do on this to-do list is decide on, if not the hosting platform, the requirements of the hosting platform. I've got people that say they got servers, and we can set up one on anything, but my initial idea was that we should do it probably on DigitalOcean, because that's about as close as you can get to a real machine, unless we got somebody that actually has hands on a real machine that we can use.
Then put it in the hosting section. It's up above in the bullet list. Just put the suggestion in, and I would say when you get the second meeting, I hope there's a few more folks.
Yeah.
The first suggestion is not necessarily the best one, so everybody, just contribute. Put in your own thoughts. This is brainstorming shit,
DigitalOcean or someone
I
that has hands onto the metal.
I don't have hands onto the metal, but I can give you SSH access.
Right, there you go. The thing is with the hosts, if sometimes you get, I don't know, 9 90% through with your project, you realize you need some other kind of little service to make it work. Oh, we don't support that.
Yeah, that's how my host is like that. I'm a reseller, but yeah, they can be a bit inflexible at times.
Yeah, and so I've got pretty much hosting, for that. I use DreamHost, and in fact, I moved everything over to DreamHost because it was easier. But I will pay for the second a DigitalOcean account if that's what we decide on. But if not, then if somebody has hands on the metal, then I think we could do that. We can use DreamHost for my stuff too.
Okay.
What is this the front end that you're talking about, Raven? I'm not
No, I'm
following
just,
you.
I don't know. I just thought like some sort of a front end to present the um, present
Oh, the
like
work in progress,
or
basically.
something, yeah, work in progress, whatever. In the end, you're gonna host it in some shape or form. But I mean, front end could also mean the CMS. If we're using a CMS.
Yeah.
So I guess I
I
call it.
think we should write it from scratch. I know Anders is strongly saying we should do wiki.
Yeah, I mean that could be a start anyway, and then you could maybe the database component would be a website that the wiki links to, or maybe it can be integrated. I have no idea.
I think that a wiki is great for like documentation and stuff.
Yeah.
I just don't know whether it's the right format for what
The,
she's
the
trying.
pr- right, Dave. So my problem with the wiki is you're arguing with each other over, well, should have that been a headline or should have that been with a
Yeah.
database you don't have that. You have
No.
it's an entry in a database, and then you have one guy saying, or a team, a panel saying, okay, the heading will go here, the subheadings will go here. If you do that on a wiki, you're gonna have it's gonna be cat herding.
Yeah, but I wouldn't worry about it too much.
Yeah.
Put up some example pages and people will build. They'll imitate it. That's how the wiki works. Yeah, you have a need to put information somewhere, and you have a way to edit it. Fuck it. You just
I mean,
puke, and then the people with OCD can beautify it.
I don't know.
I see.
I mean, yeah, in an ideal world, but I
That's
mean, I've
that's how that
seen
works.
quite a few
Sorry.
wikis and they're not like that. Is all I'm thinking.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that it's more about creating the spaces. Let's say the wiki, you'd say, okay, this is the main wiki page for the database platform that describes what the database platform is. This is the main wiki for the ER. You could find, oh, I need more than one page. Okay, let's link that to pages that describe each table. You know,
Okay,
wiki
we'll
pages.
do. I'll start setting that up, and
Yeah.
we'll use wiki for now, and then as soon as we have I don't know a mass of energy to do something else, then we'll migrate. But at least we'll have something now that we can work on.
And I think that the wiki is the way that the wiki works. Can you share yeah, you're sharing it. Let me click
I
on you.
can get yeah, I can get on the wiki.
Yeah, yeah.
Let me get,
Once you're comfortable with sharing, right? Because I think that the whole idea of a wiki is that you want some information on a page, and in the way that a wiki works, in my recollection, like any CMS, you type in the title of a page in some sort of square brackets or double square brackets. That's how Confluence works. And then
yeah.
they create a link, and when you click on it, you get to a new page, and then you can edit that. That's a
Right.
wiki. This is very simple.
The problem with that though is that a lot of links get created that don't exist yet, which
Yeah,
means you
Yeah,
get
it's
a lot.
it's
they
a
get
management fucking nightmare. I don't. This is not what I think would be a good tool for end users, but a good tool for the developers. And shit, at some point we can just fucking
not quite.
almost dump it. Yeah.
You're not creating a page by creating a link. You create the page when you click on the link. If you create a link, or at least in Confluence, when you create a link, and you don't click on it, then it just looks different. It's just a link that was never visited, and you get those dashed lines underneath. And only if you actually click on it and create the page, then it gets a full line, and then
Yes.
it goes
Yes.
to the page. So if it has the dashed lines and you click on it, well, then you have to create the page. This is as simple as that, Oh, there's no
I'll
content.
show you that real quick, guys. So anybody that, let's see, am I sharing?
To this.
You can see.
Oh, it looks like I got a hot fix. I'll do that later. All right, so, God damn it, I got too many tabs down here. Okay.
Awesome.
So you guys, if you can see this, you can just right up here in the URL bar type something. So if you wanted to create an articles or an article or whatever, I'll just call it testing. See, it'll say I can't find that topic. It does not exist. So then you can go to this create tab and now create the wiki page for it. You can do it that way. The other way is exactly right. It's double square brackets and you would type it up. But all of this syntax is right here once you get in here. So you can just right click here, open that wiki syntax, and it'll show you how to do all of this linking. So it's not really hard. It's hard in the idea that you got namespaces. So like if you had topic, and then that is like a folder, and then you could have gender equality. This wouldn't be for this project, but
yeah.
the last thing here, whatever this last thing is the name of the page.
Cool. Okay.
Page is here. That's the actual name of the page, and these are namespaces that kind of work as folders.
Cool.
But that's
The categories within the wiki.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and then now if I save this, it's going to be this link.
Mm-hmm.
And if you wanted that link to look better, you can go in here and put the pipe character, and
the title. Yeah.
and change it, to whatever.
That's cool.
Right? And then you can do tables. Like I said, you can do tables in here, and the syntax is pretty simple. Yeah.
Markdown, isn't it? Some dialect of Markdown.
It's
For people who
yeah.
don't.
Where am I? Not seeing
What
it.
I like about the wiki is that it's massive support for different file formats, like it supports SVG and things like that. You can get it to support SVG.
Yes.
And present it nicely, and it's quite good for that.
Yeah.
Could also upload short videos if you wanted, right?
Yes. Yep, you can upload videos, link to videos, whatever. The easiest thing to do is, to link to, put a YouTube on put a video on YouTube, unlist it so it's not a part of your regular content, but then you could go in here and link to it so anybody that's part of the project could find it.
You know what we'll do? Can you go back up to the topics? I'm interested in that as well, Tom.
What here?
Yeah, just click on topics. Do you have any topics set up yet?
Yeah, this is when I was setting this up is for not for database design, but for advocacy. So I have these topics of gender, and then under gender I have the education, and then under education I have.
Let me stop you in your tracks. Can we set one up? Set a topic planning.
Just for our project, right?
For right now, so we see it how it's done practically.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, absolutely.
Planning or design, let's say planning, because design is just part of the planning. And then one thing we could do in the planning page, link to a sub-page, meetings, and then on that meetings page, you can link to the YouTube for this first meeting.
Right.
Of your auntie.
So if you wanted to add a topic to this page, you just edit it right here. That's all you got to do.
Okay.
And we could break it down by this one's advocacy, and we could make a new one. So I'll just click edit here.
Yep.
and we'll move it to the top because it's the most important thing, I think, right now.
Yeah, I
and
mean, what
make
you
it a
have
heading.
under topics, really, that's like your content. But this is, if we use the wiki for planning the actual tool, then it's kind of in a completely different heading.
Right. We can move it. I can move it.
But that's fine.
Great Hall Shitlord project, I guess I call it.
Okay. AltTube. Oh, and it's not AltTube, but we need to find a slightly less clunky title, I think.
Yeah.
But I think, yeah, planning would be a topic.
All right. So planning, you just like a topic to
think-
make sure you got it.
Yeah.
God damn it.
I think the name discussion probably belongs in a whole sort of marketing / graphics / sort of design
Yeah.
discussion.
Call it planning, right?
Yeah.
And under that we'll have design. That's one of the subtopics. But I think planning that's as generic as it gets. Great. And now click on it, and then we'll put some stuff in that as well. Okay, so let's create that, and then everybody sees, hey, how does that work? So I think we should have yeah, exactly. We should have a level 2 headline. Oh no, maybe just a link to meetings. So that would that be
Meeting times.
no, meetings, as in if we want to refer back to what we've talked about now, and then if you have another meeting later on in your afternoon,
Okay.
then you could just put a link to the YouTube video there, and also maybe a link to the Etherpad or something, until we have a proper place for this stuff.
Basically, past meetings. We can change the name later, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, just meeting. Yeah. It's you can put the planned meetings on the same list, so you don't need to call it past.
Won't it?
Just meeting.
Won't instantly the second the meeting's finished, it will be a past meeting.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
you
So
don't-
it's just going to be a long list after a while, or maybe a short
I
one if
see.
everybody fucked off into the holidays.
That way we don't have to do more editing. So I could do like this.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's exactly.
Past, present, and future.
No, just no. Don't write just call it meetings. That's it. Fuck it. Keep it short. No, don't write an essay. Jesus.
For you, you can come in here and change this, but now you have to get a login.
That's what I was going to say. Can we get logins for this?
Yeah, let me spend some time to basically make sure that what I want to do is I want to separate the non-database design topics, non-Great Hall project shit separate. Make sure that that's separate, and then I'll get everybody's shit out tomorrow. Yep.
So you want to edit that page and put in the link to the Etherpad and stuff? I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm gonna have a. Where is it gone now? Jesus, gone. Huh?
The Etherpad.
Yeah. So just put in the date, I guess.
Coming back to it. Where the fuck? You guys.
I think what could be good if you give each meeting a title. So this one, you could, in hindsight, you could call this the I don't know,
This was Tech Talk
database shit. Yeah, talk. Yeah,
001A.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I probably should do it by date.
yeah. You need to put a date. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, fuck, wrong date.
Is that a crazy American date that doesn't make sense?
No.
No, it's not. He starts with the year, so he's forgiven for putting the month before the day.
This is so it sorts correctly if you use it as a file name. I don't care. You guys can change your shit, but
No, it's the only useful date format, because as soon as you put the year at the end, everybody's gonna go, is it months first or day first? I don't know.
yeah.
Like
Well,
Yeah.
day, month, year just makes sense because you want to know what day it is before you want to know what month it is. You kind of usually know what month it is.
Yeah, but don't argue with Americans.
Yeah, they've got guns.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the safest way.
Here is another thing about this. If you disagree with something that's on here, but you want to change it, you can click this discussion page, create the
Mhm.
discussion page, and let's say that date is fucked up.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
But
going to suggest.
sign it so I know who said it, you know.
hmm Oh, does it not tell you who said what? I'd say it would. Wikipedia.
I haven't used, I haven't,
Revision
I
list tells
don't
you
have
who's
enough,
done
I don't have enough familiarity with that. Nobody has used it that's got access to this yet.
When or if you're sharing the thing, the YouTube video, or if it's private listed or whatever, then you could add the link to that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I can do it right now. As a matter of
If you have
fact,
the link already, yeah, even
I
better.
just got to find out which fucking tab it's under.
We
See,
need to find a better way to secure that Etherpad after the meeting's finished,
Yeah,
because otherwise
definitely
someone
somebody
will come along.
should save it. You know, whoever leaves, closes the meeting should save it to the hard drive as well, just in case.
I can PDF everything and then
Vandalism.
save it.
I mean, that's the thing with open source. I mean,
Yeah, that's the one thing that's good about this Great Hall is that we can keep people out of this pretty easy.
yeah. But also,
We can,
all these systems have some sort of a version management tool. I don't know what they do when you delete a page, but you can usually roll back stuff. I
yes,
don't know.
this wiki has that. Yes, I know how to roll back. I just don't know how this discussion thing, how it's automatically tagged to who put the entry in. I'm sure it's done. I just
Somebody
haven't
else
figured it out.
tested. I mean, you probably may see it if somebody else contributes to discussion.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh,
So I'll work out these things. I'll do that tomorrow, and then get everybody that participated a link. Let me grab the stuff out of, like you say, this tech hall. Can I save this? Can anybody that's in here save this?
Say what?
The Etherpad.
I can save it. No problem.
Okay.
It'd be good to save it with the colours and names still in place if you can do that, so we know who's what.
Save it as HTML. I haven't tried that before. Let me try that.
Might be able to
Well,
paste it.
here's a export. I can export it as HTML.
Yeah.
That might work, yeah.
Share and embed. Oh, look, this is cool. You can even on the page there, if you click on the cogwheel, you can even embed the an iframe of it.
So I'll probably upload that to the wiki. So we have it. All right, I think that's good enough for now. If we have further things that we want to bring up, either direct message me or put it in the Text Talk channel. And yeah, I've got to do this again in a couple of hours if anybody shows up.
Oh, the Etherpad. You know what? I didn't put on it. I should have put the date on it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys gonna reuse that Etherpad and maybe add more stuff to it because I kind of started to, collate all the names of people who want to contribute. So you might
Right.
just wanna start from there rather than starting from a blank page or whatever you prefer, Tom. I don't mind.
Right.
If
Yeah, I
you,
have no real preference there, I guess.
I mean, what I would kind of find neat if there was more people, if there were 10 people around now, I would say, okay, what's your favorite CMS, for instance?
Yeah,
If,
yeah. We're gonna have to get there.
you
Yep.
know, then in that way it's good if you have the Etherpad and people can say, oh, that one, oh, that's shit, like, and here's a reason for it, could be discussed or whatever. So it's the time zones are always a little bit of a problem with those collaborations. It's one of the reasons why I really I'm so old school. I know I'm shit like that, but I really like the way that we do it on in Mozilla. It's all done with Mail and Bugzilla, and it's barely ever that people okay, we have meetings as well, but I don't go to them. It's all discussed in emails, and then you can just literally look at the thread and see who said what. It can be a very lengthy process, though, in fairness. But yeah, it's not dependent on everybody being there at the same time, which is
Right,
a bit
right.
harder when you have international call-ups like we're trying to set up now.
Yeah, I think, maybe the wiki will give us that functionality. I don't know.
I think it does in a way. The
Yeah,
discussion is the one, which is interactive. It's not quite as nice as email because, email is kind of what I like about email is it's like your shitlab, except it's not like a stream of. It's not a chat. It takes a little bit of effort to write an email, and when you write the email and send it off, you know that it's not just in one place. Everybody gets a copy on the list. So essentially, it's got more weight. I don't know. It's got more weight than something you just smear on a server somewhere. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And then, I've kept my emails like Jungameshi did. I have emails from like 15 years ago, and with Thunderbird it takes me a second to find anything. So it's
What I think we're going to have to do is like when you say when we hit a critical mass of contributors, we're probably going to have to, take votes on that and maybe have a project lead that, has demonstrated that, that person is, I don't know, of the right temperament, taking on everybody's advice. Somebody like Linus Torvald, that everybody can like, yeah, that guy he can handle it. So, we'll let him make that decision. We'll give him our opinion and let that decision be made so we can, make progress.
Yeah.
I don't want to be voted on personally. I don't want to be the project lead at all because I don't have enough experience to foresee that we'll be getting in trouble because like my database experience is basically all, on a local area network, not over, the internet. So I don't think I can foresee problems as well as somebody else could.
Well, security is really important nowadays, isn't it?
Yeah, and security. So
Especially with what we're doing. Also, I'm wondering whether a thought about DDoS protection of some description, because you know what these feminazis are like.
yeah,
Well,
They don't like you talking when they don't agree with you talking.
I know a little bit about securing database stuff. We have to do that at work a lot. I mean, obviously we have a lot better. I work for a multinational, so they have a lot better. They have very good security um, audits and stuff, and they have like demilitarized zones and their own firewalls and various like strengthening processes, like hailstorm and stuff like that. But at least there's an awareness there. At the end of the day, if you host with somebody and they have a database, then you have to make sure that only one or two people have the database administration passwords,
right.
etc. And
Yeah. As far as the coding goes, I think I mean, we're kind of okay because we're open source and
Mhm.
I mean, you know, as long as the data is locked down, we can just basically start over if we've got a mirror of the code. So
Well, I mean, I've got two servers that run 24 hours a day, so I
we
can
could,
get it back up the data.
yeah, that would be great. See, there we go.
Yeah, backup is a good idea.
Yeah, yeah.
I can take backup to the database and all the data. It's not really a problem. I've got a good fast connection here.
All right.
But it's also
So put
something
that in your,
I would
yeah, put that in there.
demand from a good host that they have a managed database server with a backup window at least of a day or so you can roll back if some shit hits the fan. So I think
Yeah, I've
security.
got
Sorry about
backup
but
software that can do that.
yeah, cool.
All right.
Cross-site
Let,
scripting and stuff like that. I think the biggest step forward will be when there's going to be some decision on what's the content management system, what CMS to go with. I think.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or
I don't know. Yeah, I agree, but
I'm wondering
I don't know
whether
why we don't do it from scratch.
because it's a lot of work.
what
I mean,
about a framework?
something, right?
Um,
Yeah, we could do a framework. I mean, you're talking like deciding to go in with Ruby on Rails or something like that.
Something like, I mean, I've read that Yi is a really good framework, for
Yeah.
instance.
Well, okay, again, I wouldn't suggest to choose any of these unless somebody's on the team who has
Yeah,
worked
totally,
and can
totally agree.
give at least 2 or 3 good reasons why we should choose that one over anything else. And developing from scratch, I don't know. I I don't see anybody putting that type or that amount of work into it for free. I just don't see that. I
Yeah.
mean, you may have a different argument from where you're sitting, but I don't. I think realistically, if you wanted to develop something, you pay somebody and you
There,
raise budget for it first.
I think it depends on the other half of the team that haven't been to the meeting yet. If they happen to want to give a lot of time to it and are skilled, then I mean, I don't have a problem following their lead.
Oh, I'd love to sit corrected.
Oh, yeah, I'm not saying lightly. I'm just saying, it's possible.
Well,
Yes,
not only that, I mean,
lie.
so say I know people like to, you know, be all pulling on the same rope, but there's no reason that, or it's not improbable or totally off the books that we could go down a CMS team and have us from scratch team, because maybe the CMS, uh, you know, as long as the CMS is open source, I mean, you could keep adapting it to your own needs. So yeah,
That's
And there's
exactly the
something like,
point. If you have a CMS and you want to write an open source CMS, you might as well use an open source CMS and adapt it.
yeah, you got to start from that point, right?
Exactly.
Otherwise, what we're doing is going to be uh, restricted by the license that we're under. And I don't want that. Fuck that. I want this to be open source.
Somebody typed Joomla, yeah. So there's another one. See, so
I've
yeah.
used Joomla in the past, is all.
Let's see.
Yeah,
Must be open source.
And I'm sure
yeah.
that's related in some way
The
to
one,
Mambo as well.
the one
It's
thing
not,
that I
that's not how you spell open source, though.
I know I'm retarded. Further down the hardest
Yeah,
type.
I agree. It's got to be open source. But otherwise, we could get in a real problem. We can't send all of this the whole thing to somebody else if the person that wrote the CMS shuts down and ends their licenses for everybody, and yeah, that'd be
Joomla's been around for a long time,
yeah.
Yeah.
and they've got a good community, and they've also got a lot of pre-written plugins for the actual base of Joomla to do loads and loads of stuff.
Cool.
Yeah.
So that's a suggestion, and maybe we're lucky and we find somebody who has already worked with it a bit. Then that would be
I
advantageous.
worked with it years ago. It
Okay.
was a long, long time ago, so it's probably changed a lot since then. It was a bit clunky back then.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Learning curve. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, let's. I think we're going around in circles, so I'm going to go ahead and close the meeting, and then we'll have hopefully more focus next meeting. I mean next week, and if you have any ideas for what you want to be covered in next week's meeting, make sure it goes on the Discord server in Tech Talk, and then we'll also be doing, like I said, Hangouts. For membership drives, membership qualification kind of things, and we'll try to stay on topic on those. All right, any final words, anybody?
Yeah, I have a
No?
question as regards Wiki. I guess you'll probably hand out some logins to the Wiki to people. The question is, we've already made a start of on the Discord server, and should we migrate some of that information to the Wiki? Is
I
that
think we should. I think we should because some of the people that aren't tech savvy and they don't want to work through all of those issues,
Yeah.
don't want to go through, I don't know, 500 posts. So I could take, like, just say for instance the hosting channel. I
Yeah.
could take everything out of the hosting issue channel, put that in the discussion, and then on for the main page for that issue, have it reduced to the current thinking, but still have the discussion under that discussion tab.
Yeah,
Do you
that's a
guys
good.
think that's a good idea?
I think it's a great idea. Just copy paste the Discord stuff into discussion, and then we'll write some articles and collate them. And I could take some of the ones that I suggested and make some article pages. You just have to think of some sort of a kind of way to structure them. So you might have an issues topic as well, or you don't want a too long-winded way to find them. That's the
Yep,
only thing.
I agree. I think we'll have it right there, part of the navigation bar that you saw on the very left. Just one click link into
And
all
then
of the issues. Yeah, because didn't we call those were basically issues, so we could stick with that
yeah.
kind of name.
And then one last thing, I know it's a little bit early, but we already went right in the middle of design there, but you will want to somehow, somewhere, in some way, um, record requirements. Okay, let me get back to that. I know that's
Right. Yeah.
right. Uh, you want to ideally, before you even come up with the with 3 or 4 or 5 different ways to kill the bird with the stone or whatever, you want to find out what you actually want from it. So um, I'm going to rewatch your video that you made, with your examples, and I'm going to try and maybe transcribe of what you actually want from it, as in, not just on the level of an example, but more in a generic term. That's
Right.
that,
I know what you're saying. You're like, in plain text, what do you want this to be able to do? You want it to be able to search on all fields,
exactly.
yeah. Yep.
What's your focus, what you're gonna do then with the fields. So if you one thing is, in requirements, you kind of write down a story, kind of write down some scenarios, your business case,
Yes.
use case, and then um, it's not bad to start with some prototypes and some examples as well. That's also good, but that's not the actual design. You have to take it back to requirements first, and then you think, okay, what do I need? I need that sort of a database. I need that sort of what do I need? I need a website, and then um, we'll go back to the table, and then we design it.
So I'm going to make on the navigation bar issues and also requirements. So you'll
So
have a
with the requirements, that's the thing. I mean, every issue. I don't really know how to structure that, I mean, obviously, what at work we do projects, right? So, and they just narrow down on something. Like a project could be, for instance, hey, set up a wiki template or wiki page, or project could be set up the minimum amount of tables so we can get this off the ground. That could be a project, right? And then within the project, you say, okay, what do I require? And
Okay,
then
how about this organization then? So we have the issues as the main thing, and then at the top of each issue page, you'll have a requirements link to the requirements writings.
yeah, or it could
Something
just
like
be
that work?
one page. You know, you could just say, okay, we got the requirement section, and then we got a functional section that kind of describes, maybe some screenshots or whatever, bit of detail, and then the the third section you have requirements, you got functional, and in the end you got design. Design basically describes how the fuck you're gonna do it, But you could have it
Right.
on one page, You could kind of really streamline it,
Yeah.
I mean, yes, you could make it a lot more complicated, and then nobody's gonna follow it.
Right,
But
right.
have it, what I like
Well, we'll
about
start off with just maybe then doing it as a one one page with just headings.
yeah, one
So
page.
one wiki page with different headings. The wiki will do a table of contents on your headings on the right side of the page. I didn't show that, but so you could go right. Once you open up the wiki page, you could go right to the design by just it's indexed.
And can you set up like a template page that you say, okay, I want to create a new issue, and you get the 3 or 4.
Yeah, pre-populate it with the formatting so it
with the
looks the same. Yeah, yeah, we can do that.
headings, then you could just set up a template page and then say, okay, create new issue. And you got your different things, that you can just fill. I don't know. I don't want to formalize it too much, but then I know how hard it is to get data into kind of a palpable format that everybody can read.
Right. I know, buddy. Yeah, that's why I want to get some time to sit down and think and work through it so that I've got it set up that, these things are already laid out, so we just don't have pages all over the place.
Yeah.
Because that can happen real quick. All right, I'm going to go ahead and close out the meeting.
Okay, thanks. Any last words, Boris?
No, I'm all right. I've picked up what I need to pick up, and I'll obviously continue to converse with you both or everyone.
Yep. All right. Well, we'll have another meeting sometime next week. I'll go over this list and see what the best time is for everybody after I hear back from Benny, because I would like to get him and also Anders in on this, because I know they both got great ideas. So.
It'd be good to be able to get together with everyone, say over a weekend, when we can maybe stay up a little bit later, or try and fit in a bit better if we can all talk at the same time.
Yeah.
Have you seen what I've written? Hey Tom, isn't there another meeting today?
Yeah.
You probably want to announce that right now when that is.
Okay. Well, it's going to be in 3 hours from now, so. I will get the. It was announced at the same time that I announced this one. I just have a.
I know,
yep.
But it's a bit oblique. If anybody's watching, I don't know if anybody is, but at least they'll know that it's at 2 a.m. GMT. What's that in hillbilly time?
Yeah, I'll go down. And correct my little advertiser flyer and send it out again as soon as we're done here. And then tomorrow I'll work on getting the wiki all set up for. Mainly the design and tech guys. I don't think we. Well, no, I guess. I guess we're going to need to get everybody over there, aren't we? Because if we're going to be talking about, business issues over there too.
Everyone needs to know what the actual project entails in a sort of broader sense.
Yeah.
I think that you'll need a few more tech meetings anyway, just to kind of do some brainstorming like we did today, different issues, and keep recording them so that when you're meeting on later, what like for me it's in the middle of the night. If you can put the YouTube link somewhere, then I can watch it and get more ideas, stuff like that.
I'll start trying to do that on. I'll do it for on the Discord from now, but then we'll probably move all of those links to past meetings, just like we started, over to the wiki. I mean, it sounds like everybody here agrees that the wiki is the way to have a quick and easy summary of where our status is on the article page, and then under the discussion page we would have, where we've been.
Yep, I agree.
All right, guys, I'm going to stop now, and we'll pick her up again in 3 hours.